Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of March 23rd. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Nicole Eridix.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes, worrying about something or other. Wednesday's Complaint Day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today we're talking about college reentry. How's that working out for you, Nicole?
Do you hear the stress in my voice?
I do. I thought that laughter was going to tip on over to crying at some point.
Well, we're on day 3 of having the college-age child home, and she was plucked from her university.
Yeah.
Without any sort of warning or desire to leave, because it just so happened actually that her dad went up there for some business, and while he was there, things started to unfold really quickly as to, these sort of social distancing rules and kind of quarantine rules. And so and then of course her classes went all online. And so he kind of said, there's, we got to get her out of here because things are moving fast and things are shutting down fast. And of course she goes to school in Canada. So there was a whole border issue to think about. So anyway, they packed up and basically got out in the nick of time because the borders are closing to non-essential travelers. So anyway, so she kind of is back home and in shock and quite upset that she can't see her friends. Understands why, of course, but yeah, so she's been spending a lot of time in her room. And I'm really struggling, but how much do I encourage her to kind of reintegrate with our family and how much time, how much space should I give her? And then of course, nothing's been unpacked, or if it has, it's just been spread everywhere. So we're kind of in like a real weird limbo state right now. Like she's, I think just being in California and being a larger state and having more people than where she was, we kind of had a heads up about the whole social distancing. We sort of had a head start on it, I guess. And so for her to come down here and just automatically be quarantined, and it's a shock, right? Like, because she was living in the dorms and she was around all kinds of people. And, so now she's got, basically nobody. So, except for us.
That is rough. It's like the transition back home after your first year of college is always
hard.
tough because you've had independence.
Yeah.
And, you've lived in a completely different environment, and then you're right back home with mom and dad, and it's, you don't want to necessarily do things the way they were before.
Yeah.
But now for these kids who this is happening so abruptly with no natural transition and, in a time of social upheaval. Yikes.
The worst thing is that most of them don't have jobs to go to. I mean, they're still doing school, but then they also don't have summer jobs to look forward to, right? So there's that whole issue of, well, are they going to be able to make any money to go back to school with? And so how are they going to fill the next couple months at home if they don't have a job? And I mean, I guess they could do more
and can't see their friends.
Yes.
They can't see their friends. They can't travel anywhere.
Right.
It's rough for them and rough for mom and dad who are going to be cruise directors for some very unhappy passengers.
Very much so. We're finding that, it's definitely been challenging. Things that we didn't expect. And I think things that she obviously didn't expect. And so it's interesting times. How about you guys? I guess you don't have college reentry kids, but
nope.
How are you dealing with your kids at home?
Oh, well, my son whose job is, going to be unavailable, jobs actually, plural. The hotel he was working at laid people off, and then he usually works at the football stadium, but obviously that's not going to be starting up. And then the food pantry he volunteers at doesn't want to use volunteers right now. So he's home, but he's really good. He just goes in his room and I don't even know what he does in there, but he just stays there all day.
Oh.
So from time to time, my husband, who's also not working, will drag him out and they will go out and do stuff. But, and my daughter is still working. If she winds up being home, then we're going to have some routine break anxiety that will be much more invasive into the family life. But whatever anxiety and routine problems my son is having, he's doing it behind the door of his bedroom. So playing loud music. So it's just weird. It's just unsettled, but we're not having the same sort of reentry into just being home with the fam that you are.
Yeah.
Well, and then
we're definitely having
a husband reentry, aren't you, Catherine?
Yes. And a child who, my daughter for sure is very social. She's very, she hates doing homework at home. Hates it. I mean, for 2 years, she's been doing her homework at Starbucks or the library or some other coffee shop.
Oh, man.
So she's not appreciate not being able to do that. She really can't stand. So that is tough for us at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely speaks volumes as to how, people can adapt quickly, but it just really emphasizes the need for transitional time.
Yes, right. And there was none of that.
Right.
No.
Really with this. What is involved with her taking classes at home? Has that started yet, or are they sort of on a spring break now?
They've started. It was pretty much right away because they've already had their spring break.
Right.
So they just kind of all dove into online learning right away. And she's really yet to open her computer, so that's another concern. It's like,
that's a problem.
Yeah, you still have school.
That's right. That's the weird thing about this is it's like college reentry for a summer vacation, but there's still school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you're not even really on vacation. You can't sleep the day away or whatever it is. But
it feels like you're back home and your first year of college is over, but it's not.
No.
That's going to be difficult.
Yeah, no, it's hard. And then, the dorms haven't officially closed down. A lot of kids have left, and some kids can't leave. And I just feel really bad for the ones that can't leave either, right? The ones that are also stuck there because everything on campus is shut down, and except for a few, food places. But so they're also struggling. It just is really very uncharted territory. I don't think anybody really knows what to do.
No. Can she FaceTime with her friends there or anything like that? Video chat?
Yeah, and they're kind of, there's groups set up, and her sorority set up a group, and her friends, they all have video chats and stuff, but she's not even really in the mood for that, actually. She's just, she just wants that human to human contact. And, she's got to adjust to this whole new way of living. So going from the dorms to where there are people any time of day, all the time, 24/7, there was somebody around, to nothing really except for her mom and dad.
Just your family.
That is a rough transition.
So.
Yeah. It's a rough transition for all of us because you feel responsible for making the kid feel better. Yeah. But you have no particular tools for that. What can you do? You can't change anything.
I know. Finally yesterday I just said, hey, you gotta come out of your room. You've got to emerge. And then she finally did so at 4 a.m. and cut her bangs. So.
The many victims of the social distancing include the bangs.
The bangs. Well, she never had bangs.
Humanity.
That's the issue, is that she created bangs. So that's even. Oh, poor kid. I feel for her. I feel for all the kids. I feel, just all those college kids that are coming back and ones that are graduating. And
I feel like I've given the speech This is an adventure. We're all in this together and nobody knows what's going to happen. Isn't that neat? Like about 1,000 times and nobody is buying it. Possibly not even me.
Nobody's like,
but what else can you say?
Neat.
You know, it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be done next week or it'll be done next year. We don't really know. Yay!
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
It lands heavily on the moms, I think.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Is your husband concerned that she's not reintegrating well?
Yeah.
Or is he doing work?
We've been tag teaming the check-ins.
Good.
It's your turn to go. No, it's your turn to go. You open the door. No, you open the door first. It's like, what's behind the closed door today?
Right.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, we've been tag teaming, but I think she's coming around. I mean, she's, we're trying not to force anything and not yet. I mean, she's still maintaining her personal hygiene, so.
At some point, there's going to be pick yourself up by your bootstraps conversation, but.
Yes, that will have to come very soon. Like, okay, time's up, let's go. But
I mean, my kids, like, this week they have had schoolwork, but next week is spring break. So they're actually not going to have schoolwork, so they'll have even less, like, stuff that they're supposed to be doing. So that should be interesting. I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we'll get on the subject of that a little bit more tomorrow, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Something to look forward to. More whining about kids.
If there are any parents out there with college-age kids who have come back home, I feel for you. I'm right there.
Let's start a support group.
Yeah, we can start a support group. So tune in tomorrow. And, well, I should say tune in next week and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
with the college-age reentry. But that's it for today's round 3. Tune in tomorrow and when we'll talk about entertaining our housebound kids. And then come back on Friday to see what we've come up with for our roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.